how's it going? How are you today? I'm good, thank you. Today I'm gonna be making fried chicken, and I'm gonna put that on my own version of a chicken sandwich. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's grab our stuff. It's a beautiful day in the kitchen. It's a beautiful day in the kitchen. Okay, so for fried chicken, what we want to do first is to brine the meat. Brining is a process of submerging the chicken in water that has salt and sugar in it. This allows the chicken to stay tender, to stay juicy, and it adds a nice flavor. When you are brining meat, it does take a couple of hours. So this is something that you can just do earlier in the day and let the chicken soak in the brine in the refrigerator, which is what I'm gonna do. I have here some chicken thighs. You can use any part of the chicken you want. The reason I'm using chicken thighs is because honestly, these have been sitting in my freezer for a while and I need to use them. So usually when you brine, you take water and you get it to a boil and you add salt and sugar until it dissolves. But what I'm gonna do is a little bit of a hack. I'm gonna be using pickle juice. That's right, pickle juice. So we're gonna have some pickle juice. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar to it. So let's do it. All right, I'm gonna do just a couple of these. We're gonna add pickle juice until it covers the chicken you have. And then we're gonna add about 1/8 of a cup of sugar. We're just gonna stir all this together. All right, so we're gonna let this brine for at least an hour. You don't wanna brine it for too long, otherwise the meat can get salty. So I wouldn't let it sit in the brine for longer than 24 hours. I'm only gonna let it sit for an hour, and halfway into the process, I am going to turn the chicken. That way it can get a nice even brine to all of the chicken. So I'm just gonna put a lid on this and go stick it in the fridge. All right, I'll see you in an hour. Okay, so we are back. I have my chicken here that has been brining for a little bit over an hour. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to prepare the buttermilk bath it is going to be going in. A lot of the time I don't actually buy buttermilk because you can create it yourself from stuff you probably already have. So for each cup of buttermilk that you need, you're going to use a cup of milk and a tablespoon of vinegar. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have 4 cups of milk. Oops, made a mess. Okay. 4 cups of milk, so 4 tablespoons of vinegar. We're gonna give that a little stir, and this does need to sit for a little bit in order for the milk to thicken to a more buttermilk-like consistency. While I have that sitting there, I'm gonna go ahead and make my chicken shake. This is a seasoning blend that I make that I use not only to season the buttermilk bath, but I also use it at the very end to season the chicken after it comes out of the fryer. All right, we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of paprika, and then 2 tablespoons of celery salt, 2 tablespoons ground cumin, 2 tablespoons onion powder, so 2 tablespoons of ground pepper. You can use coarse or fine, however I like to use the coarse ground pepper, and then 1 teaspoon of regular salt and 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. And that's it for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lid on my little container and gonna put the shake in chicken shake. All right, this is thoroughly mixed, and you'll notice there's quite a bit of seasoning. You're not actually going to use all of it. You can store this in your cabinet for up to 3 months, and so we're just gonna use a little bit. So I have my buttermilk mix that is sitting right here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a tablespoon of the mix we just made right into there. Give it a nice little stir. Almost forgot, we need 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. You can never forget the garlic. The buttermilk has has been sitting here for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and take the chicken thighs that have been brining. I'm gonna shake off any excess brine on there. Otherwise, it's going to continue to seep into the chicken and can make it be very salty. Have these in here, give them a little stir. We're gonna set this off to the side while we continue to prepare. Okay, the chicken is sitting in the buttermilk bath, so while it is sitting there, I'm gonna go ahead and make the sauce that I'm going to put on the sandwiches. 2 tablespoons of ketchup, mayonnaise, and it's gotta be Duke mayonnaise or you're not doing it right. 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, mustard. We're just gonna do a little bit. I'm talking like maybe half a teaspoon here. Sriracha, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons. And then a drizzle of granulated garlic, about a 1/4 teaspoon. Give that a nice good little mix. All right, let's give it a taste. Perfect. Oh, it's got some zing to it. This is gonna go in the fridge until we're ready to assemble our sandwich. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the breading going. So for this, what I do is a cup of all-purpose flour to 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm doing 2 cups of the flour and 2 tablespoons of the cornstarch. Right, there's that. Now the cornstarch. And these are heaping tablespoonfuls just to give it a nice little extra crunch. Then we are going to add half a tablespoon of the chicken shake we made. Give that a nice good stir. Make sure that you are getting the flour and cornstarch thoroughly mixed. Otherwise, the breading's not going to turn out right. That's ready to go. So while you're preparing all of this, you can go ahead and get your oil heated. You need your oil to heat up to approximately 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to bread the chicken. So what we're going to do is take our chicken that is in the buttermilk bath and dredge it in the breading mixture we made. Shake off a little bit of the excess moisture and dredge. Make sure to get all the nooks and crannies that are in the chicken. Then we're going to take it back into the buttermilk mixture really quick and dredge it again to create a nice thick layer of breading. And just repeat with the remaining chicken you have. Remember to repeat the process twice. Buttermilk, dredge, buttermilk, dredge. I feel like that could be a song. Buttermilk, dredge, buttermilk, dredge, buttermilk, dredge. I'm a mess. It got me there. All right, all of my chicken thighs have been dredged. I'm gonna quickly wash my hands and clean up because these chickens are going directly into the fryer. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm over here. My oil is heated to 350 degrees and I have my chicken ready. We're only going to put 2 in at a time because we want to make sure that we are not overcrowding the oil. Because if we put too much in, the oil temperature is going to significantly drop and the chicken won't crisp up right. Stick those in there. Carefully lower them down. And we're going to let these go for 2 or 3 minutes. Make sure that you keep an eye on your oil. Something that really helps you to maintain the temperature of the oil is to get an instant read thermometer. I have one that I can just stick right in the oil. It tells me how much it is. That way I can adjust the heat to what I need the oil to be at for the chicken. Okay, this chicken has been in here for about 3 minutes. What I'm gonna do is actually remove it from the oil, let it drain a little bit. And we're going to let it sit here above the oil to let it continue cooking on the inside without browning the outside too excessively. So we're gonna wait for 2 or 3 minutes and then we're going to resubmerge it in the oil to get the nice brown crust that we are looking for. This has been resting about 3 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and re-temp my oil just to make sure that it is still right where I need it to be. So it's reading a little high at 360. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and re-submerge my chicken for another 4 or 5 minutes. We wanna keep an eye on them so that we're not overcooking them. We're gonna just watch for that nice golden brown coloring on the crust, at which point we will take it out of the fryer. And if you're doing this with chicken breast, the timing is going to be a little bit different than that of chicken thighs. Each part of the chicken cooks at various different rates. What we're mostly looking for is, again, the nice golden brown color of the crust, and we will temp it when it gets out of the oil. For chicken, the safe internal temperature is 165 degrees. So we will be looking for that when we pull the chicken out of the oil. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out and quickly temp them. You wanna stick it in the thickest part of the chicken. You want the internal temperature to be at least 165. All right, those are perfect. We're gonna get them over here to my paper towels. Ooh, that's really hot. Bad idea. And we're gonna sprinkle them with our chicken shake mixture, just a little bit. You wanna let these rest for about 5 minutes after you take them out of the fryer. And what resting does is it helps the meat retain its moisture and stay juicy, as well as it lets it cool down a little bit for you. Something that makes this a little bit easier is to dredge the chicken next to the fryer. You can just have it right here by the fryer, take it from the buttermilk, dredge it, buttermilk, dredge it, and then stick it in the fryer, just to eliminate an extra step for you. If after they've been dredged, they sit on a plate or something for too long, then it can actually take away the crispiness of the batter, so you would have to put more of the flour mixture on it. And here we are. We have everything ready. Now it's just time to assemble our sandwich. So I have some really nice brioche buns that I went ahead and toasted. We're gonna take some of our spicy fry sauce that we made earlier. Get a good smear on the bottom there. I'm gonna add some pickles here at the bottom as well. I love pickles. I'm gonna place our chicken. I'm also gonna add some cheese. I have some sharp cheddar I'm gonna put on here, and then some lettuce and tomatoes. Look at that tall, wonderful sandwich. Oh my gosh. Now time to cut it. Open that up here. Oh yes. Oh, that looks so good. Now it's time to take a bite. Oh, I just want to take a moment. Do you hear that crunch? Like, it's so good. Perfectly seasoned. You get a little bit of saltiness from the pickle. Some nice freshness with the lettuce and tomato. Oh, this is so good. That's really delicious. Good job, you guys. Well, that is it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by on my channel. Make sure you're checking out my Instagram page at Confessions of an Everyday Cook. If you have any recipes that you would like me to try, maybe you're too scared or you feel like you don't have the equipment for it, send it over to me in the comments and I will try to make a video of the recipe you send me. Thank you again so much for watching. I love you guys. And I'll see you next time. Happy eating. Bye!